Okay, let's just jump into this shit because Zero wants to talk about Final Fantasy XIV, and no one else will, aside from me, and even then, my interest is tangential at best. So let's just fucking roll with it.
Oh, oh my gosh, I didn't even think. Okay, well, um, so Final Fantasy 14 updated this week, and it added a few new things, including a new variant dungeon and the Fall Guys collab, which is a new mini game side mode that you can access via the Golden Saucer.
Which is where the
And
other Fall Guys alike content is to be found.
yes, where all the mini games are. It rewards you pretty well, because not only do you get like a unique outfit that actually looks really good and fits well with certain things, as well as a mount and some minions and furniture items, you also can get some really valuable dyes for, dyeing your clothes and other things that are actually good for like raiders and stuff. So it's incredibly worthwhile to do it. Um, Well, I play a LOLFL, and I discovered that the title for 100 wins, placing first 100 times in this, is the title King Bean, and I decided that I need to have that title
Mm.
to be the king of all beans.
So is
So
this a temporary event or is this just permanent
it's
content?
gonna be it's gonna be around for 2 months, and then it'll go away, and then it'll come back later.
Mm.
They're cycling it in and out.
Fair enough.
Probably for the best though, because once you know the maps, you know the maps. There's some variety here where you have a bit, essentially three stages, with the first two stages having two different variants that are different objectives, different goals, and different mechanics being done here. Uh, People posting, wow, people are discovering raid mechanics for the first time, through Fall Guys collab, because they use those to mess with your movement and stuff and make it more difficult. Um, because Fall Guys, you have to make it to the end and qualify, and then first one. So you're in like teams of 24. You're in groups of 24, and only one out of the 24 can win, right?
Mm.
So I'm on my 86th win. I have been going insane. I I actively like this is it's not easy to win, first of all, but like it is also just I've been obsessive over this thing. I've been addicted, and I never played the original Fall Guys, so I never got that experience. So I'm getting it all right now, and it is actively just driving me mad. Great fun.
Hmm.
Only need 14 more wins, and then I am free. 14 more wins. This thing has been out for less than a week.
Yeah.
I've been obsessive to an unhealthy degree, one might say.
Yeah.
Hello. Hi, Slicer.
Hello.
I was just talking about how there's the Final Fantasy 14 and Fall Guys collab, and how I'm already 86 wins in because I've been obsessive over it.
Wow. Wait, is it Fall Guys with a Final Fantasy skin or?
It's Final Fantasy added a Fall Guys minigame side mode.
Oh, okay. I
And
have to assume it's good if you played that much of it.
um it is good, but also it is very frustrating for a lot of people
Why's
because
that?
of because AoE markers, Have you ever heard of the term snapshotting?
No, but I think I can assume you use some mechanic to give yourself an advantage, like dragging the screen with that one RPG.
No, it's you've moved past the AoE or past the thing that would have hit you, but it hits you anyways
Oh, okay, got it.
because
I've never heard that name before, but I'm familiar with the concept.
because you got basically when the mechanic decided to hit you, you were in that right spot, even though the visuals of the mechanic don't necessarily line up with that, and that's either because of lag or whatever ping. So it is rampant with snapshotting
Mm.
because there's so many things to avoid.
Hey, patient.
Hey, patient.
Thank you for your patience.
Um, yeah.
That sounds really frustrating. It seems like a game you'd want precision on.
It is, but I've played this so much that I know exactly when the snapshotting is. So I am, to other people watching me play this, it's as if I'm running into explosions and coming out fine for no reason whatsoever. Because I know that it would have snapshotted me if I was forward a little bit earlier, but now I know because it snapshots there, I can just run through and it looks like I'm breaking the game I'm not getting hit by things that clearly hit me.
Hacker, he's using cheat engine, he's god moding.
I actually can relate to that. Back when I had shitty dial-up internet and it barely functioned online, I just got used to it.
Yeah. So that's what I've had to do. And it's gotten to the point where I can now recognize people in this mode. I've done it so much. I'm like, I know you. You're a dangerous opponent. Like, oh, I see you, Pogus Champus. I must defeat you this time, my rival.
Is the player pool actually small enough to like recognize people?
It's not. But you start to recognize people because they run this mode so much.
I mean, yeah, I guess if you play it nearing 100 times, yeah.
I lost one time to Lalafell, like the shortest race, dressed as Sonic the Hedgehog, and their name was Sonic Hedgehog. And they had the title Speed Demon, and they were fast.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, living up to the name, I suppose. That's fair.
Yeah, they lived up to it.
Doesn't really change that you should feel bad about it, though. You know,
Yeah, I know. I wanted to beat them. I really did.
You're too
But it's
slow.
Even if you know the final map, which is just a race up Manderville Mountain with a bunch of random exploding AoEs and such. It's not random; it has a set order, but it's randomized as to where the explosions begin. And so there's some parts where it's just like, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to get hit by something. I'm not going to get a perfect run. Oh dear, I got hit, and I got hit again, and I lost. It is. Yeah, you can still make it just depends if your opponents are really cracked at the game mode because I've discovered running this content for that title of King Bean that I get from 100 victories means I run into the most obsessive of Final Fantasy 14 players.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I see people with like titles that like 0.01% of the player base have, and I'm like, you
Like, fucking, what is it, Necromancer and that sort of shit?
I saw somebody with Epic Hero, which is the title that just came out, where you have to do all of the Criterion Savage dungeons. And almost nobody has that title, but this person does. And also, I looked up their name, and it's like, oh, they were a Twitch streamer.
Oh, okay, so this is their career. I was going to say, they put in a lot of overtime. Or the opposite, PTO.
But I beat them. And I
Well
felt
done.
proud of myself, because I have obsessed over this so bad. It's rough. It's really rough.
Is there a title to get with these minigames? Okay.
You get 100 victories, you get the title of King Bean.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I want to be the king of all beans.
How many have you won?
86.
Oh, I thought that was your overall matches played. Okay.
No, my overall matches played is somewhere I don't want to look for it. I don't want to.
I don't think we need to know that information.
I
I think inquiring minds want to know, but you know,
Inquiring minds don't deserve that information, nor the shame associated with it.
I'm actually winning more matches than I'm losing right now.
Oh, that's good. That's really impressive considering it's a game mode where I assume one person can win.
Yeah,
out of
only
like,
one out of 24 can win. So getting 100 wins is no small feat.
Yeah. Which is only going to get harder as people get it and then stop playing the mode because they're burnt out of it.
You can end up in solo instances, actually.
Oh, okay then. So it gets easier.
So it might get easier. I don't know. We'll see. The rewards for playing it are worth it enough that like hardcore raiders would want to continue running it because it can get like they can exchange the currency they get for it for an object which extends the duration of food buffs.
Oh, okay. That's super good.
And you need your food buffs when you raid. And so it saves a lot of money because instead of your food going away after 30 minutes, it goes away after 45 minutes, you know. So on and so forth. But
Diablo 4 actually has something like that, where your buffing potions last for half an hour, but during the season reward you get 45 minutes. So exactly that scenario. It makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. So it's just it's a very, very fun mode. It is also one that I have obsessed over too much. It's consumed my life. I'm almost free, but it's bad. It's bad. I never played Fall Guys, but I'm playing this.
How long does the collab or whatever go on for?
Goes until like the end of December, and then they bring it back in a few months after that.
Oh, okay. So you could take like a week off, you know.
I could.
Are you gonna?
No.
I didn't think so.
I've been chronicling in like a different server my journey, and like I'm using red text and I'm saying like 15 left, like it's the Undertale genocide route. and one of my friends asked, "Are you okay?" And I said, "That's a good question."
That didn't answer them, I assume.
Yeah, I just said that's a good question.
Yeah.
You should say that's the wrong question. The right question is, am I King Bean?
Not yet. I will be the King Bean.
Well, that is fantastic.
What was that?
Promise us that once you succeed, you'll take a nice long break to catch up on rest.
Or other things to do in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I'll catch up on everything after I become the King Bean.
Are there cosmetics associated with it, or is it just straight up a title?
You get a title for 100 victories, but just by doing the mode, you can get a whole Fall Guys outfit.
Oh, good. Okay.
Which is actually really good. It's like a hoodie, and the back actually glows and has particle effects on it.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, it's.
I imagine those look pretty great on a LFL.
Yeah, I have a picture of my character I can probably share because I'm wearing the different thing, but the LFLs are going nuts for this because obviously King and Queen Bean are like really good titles that you would want to get for your LFL because you are a bean. Here's
true. Yes.
There's an image of the back of it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's less Among Us shaped than I was expecting.
The front has the Among Us face on it, though. Or not Among Us. The Fall Guys face.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is show the front as well. But it's dyeable, so it dyes really well.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Is that its default colors, the blue?
No, the default color is like a pinkish thing.
That makes sense.
But you dye it blue and it looks really nice. Yeah, it's. They have a whole Fall Guys themed area with like Fall Guys statues you can jump on that they added.
Please tell me there's like a chest at the top of one of them, so you're kind of supposed to climb them.
There are some hidden jump puzzles in here that people have been doing. Like there's a rainbow that you can kind of jump onto by using invisible hitboxes. And so on. They went all out. Like they even justified what these guys are in lore and why they're here.
Wow.
Yeah. So this has consumed my life.
Yeah, I was curious if you'd done anything else this week, or if that was every spare minute you have.
I did load up Super Mario Wonder.
Okay.
And I will say, yeah.
Nothing. I was just going to ask how it was, and you're about to answer that.
Okay. So Super Mario Wonder is the best experience I've had with a 2D Mario game in decades.
Excellent.
It is not only extremely gorgeous with beautiful backgrounds and animations, it has such a new enemy variety that I am constantly being introduced to enemies that I have never seen before in a Mario game.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
The wonder mechanic of like getting one of those wonder flowers and transitioning the stage into an entirely different thing is a constant change up on the formula, with so many different things happening that like no wonder effect looks the same. Like say for example, what was that?
Never the same thing twice.
It's never the same thing twice.
Wow.
I am serious. I like on the second level you get a wonder flower and it the entire stage transitions into a parade in which piranha plants start singing a cute song. Like that's just, and if you kill them they stop singing and the part of the song where they sing cuts off.
That's pretty brutal.
Terrible.
Yeah. I did watch the RT game highlights video that he posted. I think it was today or yesterday. Yeah, they just kind of saw all of those, hey, Mario's doing drugs, mushrooms, ha 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 ha, jokes for the past 20 years, and we're like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Drugs. Yeah.
It is amazing. The controls are tight. They added badges, which you can use to change how you play. Say, for example, there's one that makes it so that when you do your first wall jump, instead of wall jumping away from the wall, you actually go vertically more up towards the wall on your first wall jump. There's one that allows you to turn your make it so that when instead of spinning in the air, you can then glide for a brief bit using your hat. Another one that gives you for like specifically underwater sections gives you a dolphin swim, which makes you like super able to swim super fast and have way better swimming controls. And like these are upgrades that you unlock, and you can like slot one in for each level. A few things are like more like game changing, like one that makes it so that it becomes an auto runner, where you auto run at a high speed and you can actually stay in the air for a bit and jump in the air when you go off ledges.
That's the one I've seen.
Another one that makes it so that you are always bouncing and you can hit the jump button to bounce even higher.
Which apparently was a thing that was in a previous game, only it was really, really shitty because you had to time the jump. But in this, you don't. You just hold the button, and when you land, it will do a big jump.
Yeah. There's some more passive ones, like you can have one that makes more blocks appear in a level, which makes certain mechanics for certain parts of the level easier. Because there's now platforms where previously there were none, and so on and so forth. And yeah, no, they completely went back and looked at the 2D Mario stuff and was like, we can do better, and they did better. It is a great game. It's a ton of fun.
It's fantastic.
I've only done the first world, but I have also done the first couple of levels of the special world. And I'm on the second world right now. I would have done more, but King Bean.
Yeah, King Bean. It's important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, watching the highlights video, because what RT Game did was basically, after the first couple of levels, he just played it multiplayer. With the online mode.
Yeah.
Which has the recovery mechanic, so if you can get your ghost to, I think it's either one of the standy things,
Yep.
or
another player,
then you can just respawn and you can just do that infinitely. And it made for some great fuck around content. is what it looked like. It looked like he was having a blast with just doing that and not getting bogged down with Mario platforming too much. I'm here for a good time. I don't need the hyper challenge stuff that can sometimes appear in Mario games and getting stuck for 20 minutes on a certain level.
They have currently they have a difficult rating for each level, from 1 to 5 stars, and you don't need to clear every level to beat the game, mind you. You can just thoroughly clear a couple of levels and save the harder ones for later. But if you want the challenge, they're there.
Yeah.
Is it still fun despite being hard?
Yeah.
I should have
Especially with the badges, because I feel like, oh man, I'm having trouble with this. Let me try a different badge that might make it easier on me, right? Change up my mechanics, my abilities, what I can do here.
Do you still get just straight up a stage completion medal if you use any of the badges, or is it
Yeah, use it. The game wants you to use badges.
Oh, good. Okay, that's how it should be.
Use the one that makes it easiest. Say, for example, there's this one really difficult level where it is a kind of an auto scroller, and you can use the block badge to make it so that platforms appear so that you have an easier time not getting screwed over, by the freaking enemies and stuff they throw at you, and the having to do some platforming while it's auto scrolling. So you can do that, and that's fine. The game doesn't punish you for it. Kind of finding the right badge for the level might be part of the strategy here.
That makes sense. I'm glad all the mechanics tie together and you're not punished for using them. I don't know, old school cheat codes.
Mm-hmm. All the characters, by the way, mostly play the same with the exception of the Yoshis and Nabbit, which are the little brother gets the controller characters. They're basically invincible to most things. But again, that's there for your sibling that wants to play with you that doesn't understand, and you don't want to constantly have to be rezzing them.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I think that it is. I'm excited to get back to it. Also, I saw the first episode of the new season of Invincible.
Cool.
How was it?
Did you watch the other thing? The
Adam Eve
prequel
I watched part of it. I didn't watch the entire thing.
Not enough time, or is it just kind of bleh?
I got distracted.
Oh, of course.
But no, the first episode, super good. I'm liking that. It feels like the writing is better.
Okay.
Because there were some things I was frustrated with the first season of Invincible, but it feels like there are things here that are handled better, and I appreciate that.
Is Amber less of an asshole?
Yes, Amber is completely fine.
Okay, good.
So
I'm shocked she's actually even still in the show. I kind of forgot where she was when season 1 ended.
She's in-
When season 1 ended, she basically did a narcissist playbook for her final scene in the show. And then she's just kind of there and still exists.
she shows up and she's immediately supportive, and she's fine. She's good.
Oh, cool.
Does she apologize?
Like this happens like a month later, so if she would have apologized for anything, that would have been in the time skip that happened.
Oh, gotcha. Kind of implied to be off screen.
Yeah.
At least.
If it happened.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like the writing is just more solid all around, which is nice. And I also saw the first episode of the new season of Loki.
Oh, I didn't know that came out.
That seems to be
Yeah,
a
a
common
lot of people
response. Yeah.
I don't have Disney Plus, or at least easy access to it. So anything Disney related released, I would have the same response.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I had fun with the episode actually. I had fun. The banter was on point.
It's Marvel.
Yeah, but like the last couple of Marvel things, I don't know about that. And I'm not. I still am not buying the direction of their next big villain, their King the Conqueror.
Yeah.
I still just no. I saw the first 2 episodes actually of Loki, but I'm enjoying it. I just hate being reminded of this villain every time you plaster like statues of this character, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. When you first establish a character as just a dude sitting behind a desk, eating obnoxiously and mugging at the camera while making stupid noises, it doesn't make for a threatening first appearance.
Not really.
Not really intimidating or interesting, frankly.
I was more... The thing that killed me the most on the character was the Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, you've said.
And just... I don't care. I don't care. Please stop shoving this character's face in my peripherals.
I think I made the joke of like the neutrons quake in fear of this guy that conquered a quark. Like, good for you, dude.
There's an interesting parallel between Invincible and what's happening in Marvel right now, and I cannot say because I don't want to spoil anything for the new episode of Invincible because it just came out.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, gotcha.
I fully know what you're talking about, and also that was a thing in the comics as well. Of what you're talking about.
I did not read the comics, so I'm just discovering this.
I had to do some wiki walks because I was writing a commission in the setting. So, yeah, that is a thing that happens in the comics.
Yeah, and I'm excited for more of those shows. I'm excited to be the king of all beans one day. But that's it for me. Super Mario Wonder is really good, and Fall Guys. That's it. How y'all doing?
I could go next. My week is very short. Uh, I've talked about Diablo 4, right? Like what the actual season is about.
A little bit.
Okay, so it's vampire themed. You just kind of have to stop a vampire invasion, uh, and you play alongside this NPC character who's apparently voiced by someone who tried to get into video games and then couldn't, and through this role kind of found the joy of video games again. So that was actually a really nice little backstory. Blizzard
Yeah.
is Blizzard is working very hard to be like, hey, we're not shit, please.
Please buy our stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if I buy any of it, but I mean, I'm glad that that person's life is better at least, or more hobby filled. But so yeah, I've really been enjoying this season. Unlike this is season 2. Season 1 was bad. It just they didn't have enough time to really fix any of the things that were wrong with the game. They didn't implement any of the quality of life changes. And worse, one of the worst quality of life problems was that your inventory fills up too fast. And in season 1, you collected an item that rapidly filled your inventory. So it wasn't great. But they've made things a lot better this time around. Apparently they've been listening to the fans the whole time, but they actually have enough time to implement those changes now. So I already maxed out all of the seasonal content, and the season ends in the middle of January, I think, or late January. I can't remember exactly, but that was a unique experience. I didn't expect to. It's like playing a game with a battle pass in it. Like, you don't expect to max it out. At least I don't.
But then you do, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's great. Like, I've like nice looking bloody armor that gives mist effects. The pants leave bloody footprints. Like, it's a very nice themed stuff. Pretty cool. And yeah, so I've also been able to play with my family. My entire family plays Diablo, so that's been pretty cool.
That's fun.
Because in season 1 we tried to play, but the game was just so bad. Like, doesn't matter who you're playing with, it's just an unbearable experience.
Yeah, I have noticed that. I've actually been hearing about Diablo 4 now as opposed to before, where it just kind of nobody was talking about it ever.
Yeah, the 99.6% drop off in player base or something like that. Some insane number.
Like, when even though you don't play the game, you start to hear about it. Like, that's the moment where you're like, okay, they're doing well. They're doing well.
Yeah, so let's see. I played all of that. I've been playing a lot of that. Maxed everything. I've also been. A friend of mine recommended a show called Taskmaster. Casey might be familiar with it. I'm not sure. It is a British show.
I've actually heard of the show. Yeah, I've seen some clips from it.
The name is familiar.
All right, so 5 comedians are gathered, and they have to do random tasks for the first 3 rounds. And then the 4th one is like a live one they do on stage. One of the tasks, one of the first ones I saw was like, okay, you have to pop this water balloon, but you have to be as far away from you can, and you cannot be looking at it. So some people did the easy solution of just throwing it behind themselves. A lady tied a string around it and then got as far as she could away from it and then yanked it so it split. It's a very good show. It shows off that people approach problems from different angles, and it's also funny because it is comedians, and some of them are there to make people laugh, and other ones are there to give up all shreds of dignity for points.
That's comedians in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I for some reason they have half of the seasons on their YouTube for just free, and then you can also buy the show. So I assume through YouTube. I haven't watched enough to like be away from the free content. So, but yeah, Taskmaster on YouTube if you wanna binge watch a really fun show. My Halloween marathon also continues. I watched 4 or 5, and I think I just finished 6 right before the podcast. It gets a little hard to keep track of because they stopped numbering them after 4. So yeah, it's Halloween is not good. It's just not like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. At least had like a consistent theme, and
Of being
you
stupid.
could get into that. Yeah, yes. But there was a consistent theme. The character had a definitive personality. Freddy did. It's just sadistic torture, basically. But like they tried to vary it up at least. Halloween is just the most random shit, and then there's just a guy in a blank white mask that kills people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it, so that's wild to see her that young because these movies take place starting 11 years before I was born.
Yeah, she was that was her breakout thing, kind of, I think. I don't know.
I would assume. I mean, she was like pretty young, like early 20s or late teens when the first movie took place. So it is a little spoilery to know that she survives until the latest movie or the more modernish movies. So I know she doesn't die. They tease it a couple times.
Yeah.
Unless they retcon it, in which case they do a lot.
According to this, yes, that was both her film debut and how she rose to prominence in Halloween.
Huh. Fair enough. I'm surprised that would be the breakout role. I guess I don't know how well Halloween sold. Like clearly well if there's 13 movies in the series.
I mean, it's still like a cultural touchstone of like, hey, Halloween, Michael Myers, these are names people know.
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic Halloween movies.
I was taking out the trash a couple days ago and I heard a bunch of kids screaming Michael Myers. So yeah, it's still prevalent.
Unless they were talking about Shrek. They might have been talking.
Yeah.
They might have, yes. Nobody screamed it's ogre now, so I think it was probably the
Michael Myers, it's all ogre now.
yeah. Let's see. I started my first week at my new job. It's 410s Monday to Thursday. So that's been a pretty great experience. I'm completely fine doing a 10-hour shift, and a free day is great. I was lucky to get there's 2 teams, one that works on a newer machine and one that works on an older machine. The newer one is more computer based, and the older one is more mechanical. And unfortunately for the newer machine guys, they have to work overtime a lot because like when the machine is working great, things are smooth. You can get through things very easily. It's a lot of downtime for the operator, that kind of thing. When it's not, which it isn't very often, it's a lot of mandatory overtime and just staring at this machine with a headache. But I'm on the older machine team, so I'm just kind of learning a bunch of manual processes, and every problem is known because this machine is 20 years old. So when something goes wrong, someone on the team with 10 plus years of seniority knows what's wrong and can fix it pretty easily. And I've been searching out those moments to try and like learn
absorb
more
the knowledge
because I would also like to know and not stress about a machine falling apart. It would be nice. It'd definitely make the day easier, that's for sure, and avoiding having to stay late on a 10-hour shift. So yeah, that's my week.
Patient, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Sort of fell down a brief rabbit hole now looking at Jamie Lee Curtis's credits and seeing that she's going to be in the upcoming Borderlands movie.
Oh,
Wait,
that's
what?
a shame.
Who's she playing?
Dr. Patricia Tanis.
Okay. Yeah, I can see
Okay.
that. Yeah. All right. She might be too charismatic for the role.
And apparently, main character Lilith is going to be played by Galadriel.
Oh, okay.
There's
I
a
hope she doesn't bring that same energy to that role. I hope she doesn't talk where every line is a whisper.
Come now. It's just a matter of whether you want a full movie to be ASMR.
Yeah, basically.
Oh well, it's not like I was going to watch the Borderlands movie anyway.
That's fair. I am 100% going to. I might even see it in theaters.
There's the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that just came out. I still need to see that.
You should. It's pretty good.
According to what I've heard, it's really only good if you're already a fan of the franchise. But I mean, I haven't seen it yet, and I don't plan to. So.
I would argue it's a decent movie if you're not familiar with the lore, and it's a good movie if you are.
I would be willing to concede that, but again, I haven't seen it myself.
That's fair.
So there hasn't been a whole lot that's been going on this past week for me. Mostly just more of the same. I did have an interview, one of those automated sort of things where they send you a link and a set of questions, and you record a video of yourself answering those questions to the best of your ability. So I sent that in last week, and fingers crossed, but I'm not setting myself up for too much disappointment.
That's understandable. I've actually never done a job interview like that. Did it take a long time? Was it difficult?
It only took a long time because I had to take several takes for some of them. Kept stuttering my words, that sort of thing.
That's
so,
fair.
In a way, it's a very productive sort of thing because it lets you put your best foot forward and make sure that it's the absolute best side of yourself that you can show. So,
also, it's a little bit skill building, really. It's just performing in front of a camera and just, it's basically practicing your oration skills, more or less. Of just like, hey, I have to give answers to these questions. I know what my answers are going to be. I need to convey them in a very nice and pleasant and personable but professional way. And that's a skill that is worth developing. So
absolutely.
Yeah. As interview methods go, that's one that is, like, for my opinion, pretty beneficial even to the applicant.
Agreed. Yeah. Aside from that, my siblings coerced me into watching the live-action One Piece yesterday. I got through half of the season, which was about 4 hours worth of content.
Yeah.
Bear in mind that the season is 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're hour-long episodes, so yeah.
Why did they give Helmeppo a nude scene?
Because it's funny.
Yeah, because butts are funny.
Agree to disagree.
I mean, yes, obviously. I realize that's not your humor style, but like that's the reason.
Fan disservice is the term here.
I don't know.
He's in pretty good shape.
I mean, his face is bad. He was a butterbutt.
There's nothing wrong with his face either. Let's not be mean. There's nothing wrong with his face either. He's designed to look like a bit of a putz because of his hair.
Conceded. Well, it was definitely good. It was definitely enticing. It's definitely different from the anime and manga, which is only natural.
Of course.
Yeah. It's not bad by any means.
They did some interesting things with Garp.
Agreed. I mean, making him a skilled Go player. He doesn't seem the type.
I mean, he's a vice admiral.
have to assume that some comes with some level, at least practice with the game, even if he might personally not like it.
Just like sort of tactical acumen, just that's an applicable skill to that game. So that's kind of the point that the scene goes for. But yeah, just sort of, it's an odd thing. Like I need to watch less React content, but I've watched a few people reacting to the show as well as watching the show. And yeah, a lot of people just really vaguely negative reactions to Garp just in general, because like everyone assumes he's a really rough villain kind of dude, and he's like gaslighting and manipulating Kobe like the whole show. Like it's supposed to be a mentor relationship that it's going for, but everyone just thinks he's a dick.
I have no loyalty to the animated show, or knowledge of it for the most part. Is that his personality in the manga and anime? Or
he is a lot more animated. Well, pardon the pun. He's a lot more animated he's very upbeat and laughs a lot, smiles a lot. He's basically just old man Luffy.
Oh, okay.
Basically, yeah. I mean, granted, the
circumstances, you kind of cut off there. Patient. We've lost him. He's dead.
Maybe rejoin the call, patient, if you can hear us. Off and on.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. That worked. It's not ogre now.
No. It was yes, it's now no. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. It's I assume you're talking right now, or recently, and we can't hear you.
You are not lighting up, so I assume it's your microphone has decided, nah, I don't want to.
Two for two on equipment failure. Woo!
Yeah. Sound check, patient. Nope. Still not lighting up. Maybe restart Discord entirely, and we'll give it another go. And we will vamp in the meantime. Sound good?
That works.
Cool. Yeah. So, it's a good show. Like, I personally quite enjoyed it. There are definitely some things that I wish they had done a little differently.
Yeah, I've never actually talked to somebody who's a One Piece fan about the animated show. Is there anything like egregious in it, or?
I very much like how they did Sanji's story. Like, that was actually quite well done.
Agreed.
Zoro's backstory was that scene with him as a kid was not great. It really needed a little more development, I want to say. Like, I don't. You watch the show, right, Slicer?
Yes.
Yeah, like, because the thing with his rival Kuina, at least in the anime, it gave her a reason to believe that she was inherently inferior to men in terms of being a swordsman. The anime said, hey, her dad pretty much just straight up told her to her face, you are not going to be as good as a man. And I'm not going to let you inherit the dojo and such.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, her insecurity about that sort of thing had a place and was established with good reason behind it, because she had no reason to think that otherwise, because she kicked literally everyone's ass.
Yeah, that was it was unearned internalized misogynism.
Yeah. So that was shaky, and Nami's whole thing could have used a I don't know. I think maybe they were trying to go for realism or something there, or just sort of a cultural connotation that they figured wouldn't translate into Western markets, and this is a primarily Western show. Because in the canon, everyone in the village knew. Like, the whole thing that Nami was trying to do, everyone knew the whole time.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, they just pretended to ostracize and hate her so that any point she could just decide to cut and run, and that would be fine. They wanted to leave her a way out, and they just kind of didn't do that here. So she's all alone and has no allies at all.
Did she know that they knew in the anime?
Nojiko knew, and they did discuss things on a regular basis, but she didn't know the rest of the village knew.
Testing.
Yes, you're good.
We got you.
Okay.
Glad that worked.
What you were saying about Garp. Sorry about that, patient. Why am I apologizing? It's equipment failure.
I've been through this kind of thing. I tried switching to saying my sympathies instead, but that just came across as too formal. Too much formality, not enough sincerity. Though I definitely came in at the wrong time. I got spoiled on later in the season.
Really?
I left off right around the point where they were heading to the Baratier.
Oh,
well.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's... Can you really talk about spoilers in a show that you... Like, it's not exactly like you don't know One Piece. Like...
I know One Piece, but I don't know everything they're changing here. For example, Zoro having killed Django off screen, and Sham and Butchie joining Kuro in the mansion, and Mary actually dying.
Yeah. I didn't actually know that Django died off screen.
Well, I'm mostly piecing that together by the fact that Zoro recognized Kuro and then alluded to Funky Bar, Mirror Ball Island,
Yeah.
which was Django's whole cover story. So,
But that was all... if I'm remembering right, it was his cover story after the whole Syrup Village thing.
It was, yes.
So, I don't know. It might just be a reference. Like, the show makes so many fucking references to other stuff.
And I'm not sure how many people caught this, which was probably Oda doing a callback the whole time. When Mr. Seven at Baroque Works confronted Zoro to recruit him, Zoro was talking down to him. Talking down to someone, number 7, talking down to someone who's aiming to be number 1. With that being, when the crew reunited on Sabaody post-skip, Zoro was the first to return, and Sanji was number 7. So...
Might be reading a little deeply, but, you know, okay.
It's Oda, you never know.
I'm sure if he heard that, he would say abso-fucking-lutely. That was totally what I was going for. Promise. You know,
Well...
That reputation is half earned, half backwards writing, and half... That's 3 halves. Just sort of, yeah, totally. That's absolutely what I was doing. Promise.
Look, when you've written over 1,000 chapters, I assume it's over 1,000 at this point.
Yeah.
It's
when
almost 100.
Christ. When you make that much content you're gonna accidentally call back to previous stuff pretty regularly, I imagine. So you just kind of roll with those punches, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak from experience. There's a lot of accidentally correct or hilarious in hindsight writing that the cross brain has accomplished in that sort of vein.
Sometimes it just kind of happens and you just roll with it. Totally planned it all along.
Yeah, totally. That was exactly my plan. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, what was I saying about Garp?
Talking about Garp and how the circumstances of his character are different for reasons was what
Right.
Yeah.
In canon, Luffy and Zoro took down Axe Hand Morgan at the base, and his subordinates immediately celebrated and arrested him, getting rid of his tyranny. Garp came to the East Blue and to Shellstown specifically because he was there to escort Morgan for a proper court-martial.
Mm.
Whereas here, he's going to Shellstown to investigate the recent uprising by a small band of pirates that stole a map of the Grand Line. So he has to play the role of someone serious for longer.
Has to is maybe overstated. Like,
yeah,
they are kind of two different characters just in general. Like, even when he absolutely doesn't have to, this Garp is still fairly serious about everything.
Yeah. He was smiling a lot more in canon. And right where I left off, right as the Straw Hats are heading for the Baratier, that's the first time we actually see the canon version of Garp shining through, just him laughing boisterously.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say about it. I mean, there's a time for Garp to be serious, and come to think of it, most of his time on screen in the manga might have been like that, because most of it was during Marineford and Impel Down. But it's not the majority of his character.
Yeah, any time he's not actively considering mutiny against the Marines because one of his kids is on the chopping block, he's a pretty fun guy. Like, at any other time than that.
And always snacking on rice crackers and donuts. Oh. They've changed a lot, but they've still pretty well captured the spirit of One Piece.
Oh, yeah.
So it's different, but it's not bad. That's all I can say.
There's a season 2 on the way, you know?
I should hope so. Though I wonder how far it'll go.
Well, Jamie Lee Curtis is apparently more or less definitively cast as Dr. Kreha, so that far at least.
Yeah, I'd imagine either her or Jane Lynch for the role.
No, she has said, hey, I'm doing this. Like, the casting director hasn't said anything. She's just in an interview and someone says, hey, you're a One Piece fan. Do you want to... are you thinking of being in the show? I'm going to be in that fucking show. Shut the fuck up. This is my role. No one is taking it from me.
I could see her pull as Miss Doublefinger instead.
No. That's not really a consideration of whether, you know, she would actually pull it off or not. It's a she has darker skin in the animation, which means she is going to probably be a black actress, is my assumption. Like, they did the same thing with Nojiko, and she's not even that dark-skinned.
Didn't know that. Well, we'll see how things go then.
Anything else, Patient? Or...
No, there really hasn't been a lot going on for me this week. Just more of the same. I'm sure you have a much more exciting week to talk about. What was that?
I feel like I might be misremembering, so I'm going to look that up. Yeah, I'm totally misremembering. She was pale as fuck. What the fuck's wrong with me? I might be thinking of a different character. Anyway, yeah, I don't have an interesting week. I never have an interesting week.
So, what did you do this week?
I finished Dave the Diver in terms of the actual main campaign story of such a thing. That game is fun. That game is just good fun.
Did you re-beat it, or did you not beat it before?
I didn't finish it before, and I started over.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. That game is just good fun. It's just a nice time. Yeah.
I've only heard good things about it.
Yeah. It is worth playing. I highly recommend it.
I will ask one thing.
Shoot.
My sister seemed hesitant about buying the game, and when I talked to her about it, she said that she had watched some people stream it, and she thought she remembered that there was some fat shaming going on at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So
like,
that is
that's the thing. Dave pretty consistently gets shit on for his weight.
Oh dear.
Hey, it's a thing. People deal with it.
Mm.
Actually, Dave just kind of gets shit on by everyone in general, but everyone also really likes him, so, you know.
I see. Was just curious.
What else did I do? I have gotten back to watching/listening to Supernatural. I am halfway through season 5. I am wondering whether I am actually going to watch through the 9 seasons of that show that I didn't watch as it was coming out. That show was on TV for 15 fucking years.
Yeah. I'm shocked you made it 5 seasons so far. Like, that's quite a bit of progress.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good show. It's very easy to have on in the background. Yeah, that 5th season has some weird tonal shifts. Yeah. Hey, the apocalypse is happening for the first, 6 episodes. That's pretty bad. It's kind of fucked up. Tough to deal with. Protagonists are kind of responsible for it. Man, this would be a really good time to have an episode about TV parodies. And then an episode about going to an in-universe supernatural convention. Yep.
That sounds baffling. I feel like they could have reordered the episodes just a little bit.
I mean, I guess they wanted to have fun episodes somewhere, and the question then becomes, where the fuck do you put them?
I guess in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, well, that was episodes 7 and 8, I think. And, yeah. And then everything goes to shit immediately afterwards. It's like the convention episode happens, and it's really goofy, and then it's like, hey, protagonists, by the way, here is a coupon for where you can find the main plot. And then they find their main plot again, and then people start dying. Cool. All right.
Huh. Okay then.
Yeah. It's still a fun show. Yeah. Anything else? Did I do anything? I don't have Steam open because I'm a dumb shit. No, I think that's pretty much it off the top of my head of stuff that I've done. I've been trying to catch up on
Sleep? You're
Oh,
not catching up on
sleep sounds wonderful, but I am so overdue on deadlines as I fucking always am. And I'm also in the middle of trying to defrost my freezer. Like, that's why I disappeared in the middle of Slice of Talking back then.
Did you say defrost your freezer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I've been focused on beans so much. There is something I do want to say about my week that's very important.
Oh, yeah, you didn't say. Yeah. I know what you're going to say. You didn't say.
Yeah, I'm an uncle.
Oh, congratulations.
Yep. Baby came early, and I am now an uncle. My parents are now grandparents.
You get to teach them all the swears and buy them booze.
No, I won't.
Maybe, though.
And yeah, no, it was a surprise. I went to the hospital with my family and waited the good news. Baby was born, had some trouble breathing at first, but is now recovered and has finally gone home with my sister and her boyfriend.
Yay!
That's very...
Yeah, it's very good. We were concerned for a little bit, and there was some other stuff, but the trouble breathing happened around Halloween. That same day, my dad had to get 11 teeth pulled, and that same day, I got rear-ended by an old man in a bathrobe.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my worst Halloween ever. Been trying to forget it. That's why I didn't bring it up. And I got whiplash for a couple days. Well, not quite whiplash, but my neck was hurting, and my shoulders were hurting, and my back was hurting, and everything was stiff. But I'm better now. Yeah, it was a rough day. But a new life has been born into my family, and I'm super happy about that.
Yay, baby.
Well, I'm glad.
Baby. Yeah, me too. I'm very excited about this. This means the world for my sister. So, hooray!
Yay!
I'll make sure they understand how to play video games.
Oh, good.
And swear.
If I go there and that kid only knows Fortnite, I will scream. I know it's too early to say because the baby is 4 days old, 5 days old. But
I mean, here's hoping Fortnite has been replaced by whatever comes next.
Yes, I'm hoping that Battle Royale content is not a thing in this child's future.
The timeline doesn't get darker.
I don't want them singing about a battle pass when they're 3 years old.
Or Chug Jug.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. I wonder how that kid feels about that now. It's been a few years. He's probably 15, 16. He's like, oh God, I hope no one finds out. I hope no one finds out that it was me.
I wonder.
I mean, if he was a kid when he made it, I have to assume he bragged to the people around him. So there was probably not a lot of keeping it secret.
There's no escape. You go viral like that, there is no escape.
No, not really.
Okay.
Are you looking at your Steam? What are you doing?
I'm looking into whether that kid's name is actually public at all. Like whether he put his name to it. It doesn't
That is a
seem
fair
like
point.
it. Doesn't seem like it.
He turned it into a career.
Oh boy.
Is he
Yeah.
like a rapper or singer? Or...
He sang Chug Jug with you at Coachella a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Dude, that probably paid for college. He's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, his YouTube channel has like 345,000 subscribers. He's fine.
Yeah. Good for him. Good for that kid.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? You could like cringe away from the thing that, oh my god, this is so embarrassing and humiliating in hindsight, or you could just fucking lean into it and get that money. Like, dude,
Yeah,
go for it.
impressive. Like hard approval right there. If you go viral off of that, be like, yes, I am the Chug Jug with you kid. That's my resume.
I mean, you gotta live that lifestyle. You gotta don't die of cringe. Kill the part of you that feels cringe.
Exactly.
However that saying goes.
I could not do that. Not in a million years. Good for that
No,
kid, though.
no, definitely not.
Takes a special kind of person, and I respect it in certain senses. Zero.
No Patreon yet. Hasn't gone through.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Not on
today
my
was-
end. Normally it is today, but I have not gotten the email.
Oh, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Like-
Yeah.
Considering all the changes they make, they might not be sending out emails, or that system is broken.
I mean, I got one, but you know,
Oh, fair enough.
I don't know. It happens. Things happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get the email any minute, and then that would be kind of embarrassing. But
Watch it happen as soon as we sign off for the
Probably will.
I just checked my email, nothing. So
Did I do anything else? I don't think I did anything else at all in the world. I'm literally in the middle of writing a chapter that is very late, as it always fucking is. And defrosting my freezer, like I said. So, you know, sleep would be nice, but that's probably hours away. And then I've got to wake up in the morning to get grocery deliveries because I ordered for like 6 in the morning because of my fucking putts. Yeah.
I mean, making deliveries is hard when your sleep schedule is not consistent. It's just like, all right, when am I going to be awake on that day?
Yeah, this seems like a reasonable time, and then you're awake for like 20 straight hours, and it's like, oh, I'm a moron. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, been there.
Yeah, so that's a podcast. Discord link in the description, Patreon link in the description. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
until next time.
bye-bye.